Steve Jones. I work for LEA Architects. I am a senior project manager, registered architect, and vice president of our operations.
What key life experiences have formed who you are today?
In regards to my profession, it has to be school. I mean, as far as architecture school kind of sets you up for the profession.
But how did you become passionate and involved in design?
In high school, I started taking drafting classes and things like that. I've always liked math and sciences, physics, things like that. So I think my true passion is probably the technical side of architecture.
What are your core values and how are they reflected in your practice?
Architecture is interesting in that many architects design for, I don't want to say for themselves, but they tend to do what they like to do. I tend to focus more on client expectations, and that tends to be what I view as the most important, is to understand what the client is looking for and solving that.
What is your design process?
A lot of different ways to go about the design process, and it comes down a lot to what's the client walking into a project with. Clients walk in and they know exactly what they want, and at that point you can pretty much sit down and start doing layout and doing design, because all the spaces that go within the building or within the space. Sometimes we'll sit down with a client and we literally sit there and talk, draw, do layouts and talk about the functional relationships within the building. And we'll sit there and actually, ideally at the conclusion of a design charrette, you might walk out of there with a good grasp of what the building is.
How do you collaborate with other individuals to realize your impactful work?
I work with clients, but a lot of the stuff that I do is working with the other engineers and other people in our office. And it all has to fit together. And that's what I do, is making sure that it all goes together.
Where do you think the future of design is going?
There will be a lot more computer focus. There's a lot of different computer programs. There's AutoCAD, there's Revit. Revit can be used for 3D. We use a lot of SketchUp models and things like that to design with anymore. There'll always be a need for design, and ideas and thoughts won't ever get replaced. But how we go about presenting it, that's what will continue to grow over time.
What are the biggest challenges that you face?
Anytime you're dealing with stuff that can go wrong, structurally, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, and you're dealing in many cases in millions of dollars of somebody's money, legal issues are always out there. That's what I always tell young people. Learn AutoCAD, learn Revit, become proficient in those as best you can. It's important. If you've got those skills, it really sets you up to get into a firm, and obviously you've got to do that for years until you become seasoned, if you will, or have the experience to go on into doing other project management, design, different things like that. But out of school, you're going to be doing a lot of drafting.